Alright, Facebook, YouTube, Zemo's son coming at you. Haven't heard from me in a minute. So I'm going to do a quick little update on the fight progress we had over the weekend. We had Amir Khan taking on Paul Maliaggi for the WBA junior welterweight title. Pretty much what I expected to happen happened. Maliaggi, he's a game kid. He's kind of like a poor man's Hector Camacho, who just recently lost also. I'll get in that in a minute. But he came out there and did the best he possibly could against a really powerful, seasoned, strong kid who has Freddie Roach as his trainer. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about him being good in the future if he continues to train hard. I did find out that he got knocked out earlier in his career, one punch. So to say him against a puncher, I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head in the junior welterweight division that's a heavy puncher. There's some guys in there that we probably in the top 10 we don't really pay too much attention to that'll come out and do something, but it was a game effort by Maliaggi. But he's basically now he's kind of like the guardian of the division. He can box and he can move, but he's not really a threat to me in the title challenge for anybody in that division. I still want to heap praise right quick on Floyd Mayweather. We had a little discussion at my job today about him, and there's no need for me to see a Pacquiao fight with Mayweather. Excuse me. I basically think that Floyd proved his point to me as a Floyd fan up until before he started talking that mess about the better than Ali and the Ray Robinson and the Ray Leonard kind of thing. I knew that Floyd is a very talented fighter, but I took a minute and went on YouTube and looked at one of the other post-fight interviews he had, and it was like a 12, 15, 20-minute interview. He actually went into some detail I didn't know about. He talked about how he used to spar as an amateur with professionals like Frankie Randall. He said he did some work with Pernell Whitaker, which he just kept saying was good work. He did mention he could actually outdo Frankie Randall, but he didn't want to because he wanted to get sent home. He wanted to keep hanging out with his wife and him. They were cool and good to him, and he got a lot of experience. If I had known before his fight with Mosley that the young man had spent any time in the ring with Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, I would have told you what I'm going to tell you now. Then there's nobody from 154 to 140 that can get with Floyd Mayweather, period. It's non-negotiable. As adamant as I have been on Shane Mosley bandwagon, I'm now that adamant on the bandwagon of Floyd Mayweather. What I saw was nothing less than pure mastery. Ring generalship, speed, power, balance, poise. He kept his eye on his back. And one big point that he did mention before the fight that I think he got from Sweet Pea, if you ask me, he always keeps his eyes on his opponents. He don't ever blink or close his eyes or throw a shot without knowing where the shot's going. Like a true archer, when he pulls that bow back and looks through that sight and sends that arrow, which is his right hand, whatever punch he's throwing, he stands and watches it till it goes all the way through and comes with something else. It's truly a seasoned professional. If you saw him fight Marquez, you saw what he's going to do to Pacquiao the same way, except for the knockdown. He was knocking Pacquiao off his feet. But Pacquiao's speed is only going to help him if he can get on the inside. I think Floyd's thing that night would be like Roy did against Vinny Pazienza. He's going to keep that jab in his face, snapping it, feinting the jab with the hook. He's real good at that. He'll double the jab on you. Then you think it's going to be another jab. He'll pop that hook and then overhand right, and then he can slip out of range before he can mount any kind of offense. Pacquiao's going to have to eat shots to get shots off. A lot of people might not agree with me. Watch Cotto fight rounds 5, 6, and 7. Although Cotto was badly hurt, he got on his toes and started punching and jabbing. I don't think he confused Pacquiao as so much as Pacquiao said, okay, he's trying to rest himself, I'm going to rest myself. If I think he would have pressed the issue, he might have stopped Cotto, but for some reason he didn't. I don't understand why that happened, so that's kind of like a big question mark for me. But I'm thinking the ability for a fighter that can take his punches and can box is going to give Pacquiao some problems. Just go back to the Eric Morales fight. That's the recipe for someone who can't knock him out to beat Pacquiao. The only losses that he had that are not by knockout early in his career, so I kind of don't really pay any attention. But I have to give Floyd his props. All Floyd Mayweather fans, any pure boxer out there has fans that realize, I don't care what anyone tell you, the pure boxer always beats the brawler puncher every time. Ali with Frazier, Ali with Foreman. The first fight he played too much. The second two fights, the boxer always beats the puncher. Evander Holyfield Tyson. Even if it would have been a situation with the only example I could probably think would contradict me would probably be Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis. Riddick Bowe is more of a boxer. Lewis was more of a puncher. I bet 20 to 1 in my last dollar, my last breath, that Lewis would have knocked Bowe out anytime, any place. The best chance Bowe would have had to win would have been right about the time he fought Evander the first time. He was still in shape, still sharp and focused on the inside. When he knocked out Jesse Ferguson with them inside shots, that would have been the best Bowe to fight Lewis. Anything before or after that wouldn't stand a chance. But back to what I was my main topic: boxer versus puncher. There's been some exceptions. Sometimes that puncher get a shot in and shut the boxer out. John David Jackson, for 11 rounds and some minutes, had Jose Castro beat. B-E-E-T. Beat. But one punch, one shot turned the whole fight. On occasion, there are exceptions to every rule. But the 9.5.9 out of 10, boxer always beats puncher. Floyd Mayweather has too much speed, power, poise, control, and has a smart corner. When he got hit with the big shot by Mosley, the first thing out of Rogers' mouth was, "It's an easy fight. What are you fighting it for? Just box him." They didn't panic. They didn't say, "Oh my God, what you gonna do next?" Just box the dude, man. All you gotta do is go out there and box him. It's an easy fight. You out there trying to fight. What you fighting for? Box him. And then boom. From that round on, it was nothing but. When you get to the level that he's at, you got to give the man his props and his respect. So, like I said, I had to get it off my chest. People saying pound for pound. The pound for pound best fighter fighting on the entire planet Earth is Floyd Mayweather. Period. Not the best undefeated fighter, not the best fighter that came out of retirement. The best fighter fighting, Floyd Mayweather. Now, Pacquiao, I can't take anything from him. The only difference I gave the Floyd the nod over him is because of the fact that he does have 2 knockouts on his record. Even though I think Floyd lost the Castillo fight, I still stand behind it. I ain't changed that. But like I say, that's my opinion. They ain't in the record book. Castillo gave you a recipe on how to beat Floyd. Nobody knows how to cook that well. As a chef, I know what cooking's all about. I can give you a recipe and give you the ingredients. You can cook it and mess it up. Hey, you just didn't have what it took to get it done. Until somebody comes with the master recipe and the skills to put it together, it's not going to happen. So I have to give Floyd that spot over Pacquiao. Pacquiao is a fighter who developed under Freddie Roach, and from being a one-handed to a arsenal of fight. I mean, he has so many different things he can do now, but he's still limited because of his size and his lack of reach. That's why he'd have the problem with Floyd. His arms is too short. He couldn't jab with him, and he can't get in there and catch him no matter how quick he is. He couldn't get with Floyd on the speed aspect. So I'm just burping all through my video. Back to the quick update. Some 8 minutes and some change. Paul Malignaggi down. Amir Khan stocks came up. Hector Camacho Sr. got out hustled. Is Macho time over? We don't know. He'll probably, he doesn't even train probably. He just trains 2-3 weeks and comes back, gets his money and go. So we'll see what happens with Macho time. There's been some other little small fights. Some WBO cruiserweight guy win and stuff like that. I don't really pay that kind of stuff any attention. I'll wait till something major happens in the Super 6. How many years have they been fighting and 12 people fighting? What they been doing? But anyway, the next big fight's coming up soon. I'm not really sure it's going to be anything exceptional. We got some fights coming on Boxing After Dark on HBO. I'm going to do some research, get back to y'all with some update information. But for the most part, all I got to do is just praise Floyd and tell Pacquiao, hey, fight Berto. Floyd in trouble too, because Floyd can't make no money with nobody but Alberto. You can make the money with Pacquiao. I know I'm not disrespecting. I'm just saying. We know you're gonna beat him. He probably beat Berto too. But at least Pacquiao got a shot. Oh yes, I want to talk about right quick. Yuri Foreman versus Cotto. I'm gonna predict an upset. I'm gonna predict that Foreman will outbox Cotto. I think when them jabs start hitting his face, he's gonna think